One. So what's going on YouTube? This is PNG Media News back at you with another edition of the Concrete and Steel Chronicles. Today you are for a real treat. I got Alfred Brodie. He's going to tell you all about his life growing up in New York, doing time in New York State Prison, coming home, completely transforming his life around. So without further ado, Brother Brodie, how you doing tonight? Tell people who you are.
All right, good evening, everybody. My name is Alfred Brodie, but my street name is Knowledge and also Neals. They know me as Knowledge and Neals. You know, I grew up in Brooklyn, New York, Bedford-Stuyvesant. And when I grew up, I basically grew up without a father. 5 years old, my mom's kicked my dad out because he used to drink a lot, abuse her. So I basically grew up without a male figure in my life. So I became attracted to the street life, I could say around the age of 12. But
Now,
like I
about
said,
what years was that? About so when you started getting to the street, you said you're about age 12. Like what time frame was that?
12. Oh, you want to know the year?
Yeah,
Yeah,
about I'm just trying, keep
oh,
uh just
12 years.
give
12.
context.
Okay, I was 12 years old and like 70, 1970.
Okay, okay.
In 1970, I turned 12. And but before I got into the street life, my mom, she worked, did what she had to do. She used to clean houses. And then she finally went back to school and got a nurse's aide certificate. So she was doing that. But money was real scarce because I had two other brothers. It was three boys. My mom's raising three boys by herself. So she used to take us to the store. I still remember, and buy us sneakers. And back then, they used to call the cheap sneakers rejects. And kids
Hmm.
tease you. They used to have a song like this: rejects. They cost $1.99. Rejects. So they used to tease us and stuff. So me, I used to rip my sneakers up. And my mom used to say, yo, I just bought you those sneakers. She used to beat my ass. So I found a way to make money at a young age. And that was shining shoes. I used to shine shoes. I made me a shoe shine box. I shine shoes, you know. And I used to sell newspapers, Sunday newspapers, and make money. And I used to go to the supermarket and pack bags and help ladies with their groceries to their apartment. So I did that for a couple of years. I was able to buy me some sneakers. The sneakers back then were called Converses, Chuck
Hmm.
Taylors. Those were the expensive sneakers back in the 60s. So I bought some Chuck Taylors. They cost like $8.99 or something. And Pro Kids. So now, as I started getting into the age of 11, I started wanting more money. And I felt that, man, packing bags and going to the supermarket, carrying people groceries and signing shoes wasn't for me no more. Because that money wasn't enough to get me other things that I wanted. But now I'm growing up. So, I wanted more expensive things. So what I did, went to the store, bought me a fake gun. That's how I started out my crime. Like I bought me a fake gun, and me and my man, we used to go around robbing people, pulling the gun out. And then as years went by, I got my hand on a real gun. And then from there, I was in the races, doing all types of stuff, sticking up, robbing people in the neighborhood, grocery stores, doing a lot of like dumb stuff. I'm not here to glorify what I've done. I just want to kick facts so that whoever's listening to me that's out there doing this, I want y'all to see that what I did and I changed. But I'll get to that later on how I changed. So now I caught a body. I took an innocent man's life, which I truly regret. I'm not here to brag about that. I regret that. But to this day, I ask God to forgive me.
Now,
I,
what was the circumstances behind that?
oh, well, okay. Me and some guys, we did a stick up, right? It was three of us, counting me, three. So during the course of the stick up, a gentleman got shot. We left, but we didn't know the dude died until years later when I got arrested. I got arrested. So when I got arrested for a robbery, my lawyer said, yo, they want to investigate you for a homicide. I said, a homicide? Oh, he said, you know what you're charged? I said, nah. Now I know I did certain things, shot certain people. I don't stay around to see if they're alive or nothing. But once they started telling me about it, I knew. I said, oh shit, that dude died. So now, mind you, I'm the only one that got arrested. But I got arrested for something else. And then they been was looking for me. I ain't knew it because my name was kind of popular back then. They said, oh, Knowledge did it. He living in some of the projects in Bedford-Stuyvesant in Brooklyn. But I ain't know they was looking for me until I got arrested for another case. So now I'm in jail, right? So they wanted me to go for a lineup. I'm 21 years old. I refused. No. Finally, they got a court order. They came to the jail and basically dragged me to the lineup, sat me down. I had a number in front of me. Boom, and I had a paid lawyer. I mean, not a paid. I had a free 18B free lawyer that the state gave me. So I know he was working in my behalf, even though I know I committed that crime, but I still was in denial. So making a long story short, a person, a female who saw the crime, picked me out, identified me. So now I got a murder charge. Now I'm like, oh man, damn, I'm 21 years old. I came here for a robbery. Now I got a murder charge. So now the two dudes that was with me, I notified them. They came to visit me. I'm looking at them on the visit. I said, yo, man, you remember that thing we did back then? He said, yeah. Yo, they arrested me for that. They said, what? So I said, any of y'all telling on me? Because I ain't know how they found out who I was until I got the paperwork, all my court, all the paperwork. My lawyer got started reading it. So now I'm looking at them. I'm saying, all right, y'all ain't got to worry about me. I'm not going to say nothing. So I thought they would look out for me, but they didn't. I wound up going to trial. I blew trial, and I got 27 to life sentence at the age of 21. So now I go upstate.
So let me step a minute. Okay, so the two guys who did it, I mean,
That
have they told on you?
was with me. No, they ain't tell
Yeah.
me. I thought they did, but when I
Okay.
with the police report, I found out that this young lady saw me, and
Okay.
her name was kind of popular back then. And they said, "Oh, the dude Knowledge did it. He shot the dude. He lives in Bedford Stuyvesant because it
Okay.
crime Coney Island section of Brooklyn. It happened in Marlboro Projects. That's where my crime happened at, far from where I lived at. You know what I'm saying? So somebody must have saw me, and they said, "Oh, it's that dude Knowledge." So anyway, make a long story short, like I said, I got arrested, and I thought the two dudes that was with me, I thought they said something, but
Okay.
they didn't. Follow me? So now
Yeah.
I go to trial, right? But before I went to trial, guess how much time they offered me? 10 to 20, 10
Mm-hmm.
to 20 years. And during that
Right.
time, young wife, and she was like, yo, take that because you know you did. I said, man, I'm not upset at all the time. I'm not taking that. They don't got me. They ain't catch me at the scene of crime and all that. And I went to trial. But the day before we started trial, I started getting scared. I'm gonna keep it official. I started, man, they really taking me to trial. So now I told my lawyer, I said, yo, man, could I still get that 10 to 20? So he went up there, him and the DA, they went up there whispering with the judge. My lawyer came back. I said, what's up? I mean, now I want to take the 10 to 20. I'm seeing this serious. I'm a young man, 21 years old. I don't want to get 25 to length. So when my lawyer came back, he said, yo, listen, the district attorney said, nah, that 10 to 20 offer is over with. He said, if you want to cop out now, you got to take 15 to 30. So I
Damn.
said, oh, let me get 5 minutes with my wife, really 2 minutes. And my wife came close near me and I'm talking to her. And she said, yeah, take that because, and she was young, a teenager, 19, and I'm 21. And we got a daughter to a young daughter that was just like 1 year old. So I said, man, I ain't taking nothing. I want to act tough, man. I ain't taking nothing because I felt that they didn't catch me at the scene of crime. I got arrested while I was in jail for something else. So I figured, man, I could beat this. They ain't got me. They don't even got the gun. That's what I'm thinking. So now I go to trial. Boom. The young lady that said she saw me got on the stand. Oh, I saw him before the crime started. He came inside the building, started talking to people. So then my lawyer questioned her. Um, asked the police that went up there. Did y'all question the other people? That's the only witness y'all got? No, the cop said, oh, we tried to get people to identify this guy, but they were scared. They said he's like a gangster. They were scared to identify me. So I said, damn, this one bitch, the only one that messed me up. So now check this out. The persons that was with the man that got shot, which I regret, God forgive me, when they got on the stand, they asked them, do you see the guy in the courtroom? No, they said, no, we don't see him. So I was like, yeah, good one. I might make it out. Because mind you, that girl didn't get on the stand yet. I said, yeah, good one. They said, oh, we know it was three guys dressed real nice. They came, pull out guns, they robbed us. And then when they was leaving, one of them turned around and shot my husband. So boom. So I said, damn. So I'm still young. So I said, yeah, I might could beat this. So now they call another witness. That's when this young black female got on the stand and she said, and I figured that they paid her because the things that she was saying, like I said, I was in denial, but I know what I really did and I know how it went. She was saying it to fit the narrative, how the police wanted her to say it. After
Mm-hmm.
yo, say, he went over here so we could prove that you saw him. So she tried to say that after the dude got shot, it's happened in a project. I came inside another building, started talking to guys in the hallway, yo, yo, yo. She said, yeah, I saw him. He came in the hallway after I heard the gunshots. But it didn't happen like that. After we did the crime, we ran straight to the parking lot, jumped in the car, and left. You follow what I'm saying? So they got to understand lines. So anyway, making a long story short, they called more witnesses. Nobody else identified me. Everybody kept saying, oh, I just heard gunshots and I saw 3 guys running. None of them identified me, but this one black female. So now, boom, they deliberating. So now the first they came back with a verdict. They said, we are unable to reach a verdict. So now I'm getting happy. Yeah, good. They send a note. So now my lawyer, if I had to pay lawyer, I wouldn't have been in there, but then I probably would have been dead because I still had that criminal lifestyle. But let me take my time and tell everything based step by step. So now when they send a note out saying they're unable to reach a verdict, I said, yeah, good. So my lawyer, they up there whispering with the DA and the judge. So now the judge told them, yo, tell them I said to keep deliberating till they reach a verdict. So now I don't know nothing about law during that time. I'm stupid. I should have been studying it. So I'm like, damn, man, what that shit mean? Next thing you know, a few hours later, they came back. We found him guilty of everything. Murder in the first degree, manslaughter in the second degree, and criminal possession of a weapon. Boom. So now my heart is beeping now. Oh, shit, I got found guilty. So now they said sentencing like maybe a few months after. They don't sentence you right then and there in the courts. They say, all right, we're going to pick the day for sentencing. Boom. So now I go back to the jail. All my friends, yo, what happened? I said, yo, man, I got found guilty. They said, what? I said, damn, I should have took that 10 to 20, man. I'm going to probably get 25 to life. So now sentence day come. They gave me 27 to life. And yo, my wife was in the courtroom, man. She was young. She walked out the courtroom crying. I turned around and looked at her. She told me she walked all the way home. That was a long walk. So boom. So now I'm feeling hopeless. Damn, man, we got a little daughter. So now I go upstate. Now I'm going to the big boy's house upstate where Clinton.
Before you get to upstate, what did they have you at Rikers Island?
Nah. I was 21 years old, so I went to the Brooklyn House of Detention. That's for guys
Okay,
in Brooklyn. I could
Brooklyn
have
House Detention. Okay,
yeah,
gotcha.
could have went to Rikers Island, but they sent me to the Brooklyn House of Detention. But now if it would got too crowded, then I would have went to Rikers Island. So they
Okay.
sent, so now the bus come take me upstate.
Okay. So now
On a,
let me ask you this. Okay,
okay.
so what was the dynamic like at the Brooklyn House Detention? Like, how did the inmates
All right, the Brook,
hook up and stuff like that? Was it by race, by gang, by
all right.
borough?
When I came through, they didn't have no Bloods.
Mm,
They didn't have no Crips. They didn't have no Latin Kings. None of that. Only thing they had is 5%ers, right?
mm,
And they had the Muslims.
mm,
Then they had this other group of Spanish guys. They call it rat hunters.
mm,
Now, rat hunters, they go after rats. Whoever's a rat, they aim is to attack them. You know what I'm
mm,
saying? And stab them up. Those are the only things they had back then when I came in. I'm old school for real. You know what I'm
mm.
saying? But I get into when the other gangs came into as I continue telling my story.
Right,
If
right.
you continue or you want to ask me questions, feel free to.
So when you got to Brooklyn House Detention, I mean, was it just every man for themselves, or did you have to click up with anybody? How did that go?
Yeah, I did have some incidents. Okay, when I first got to the Brooklyn House of Detention, yeah, I'm on the phone, but me and this dude is tight to this day, and so he's doing positive things. When I first got there, they put me on. They got different floors, so I'm on. I think I was on the 7th floor. Then yeah, so now in the morning time, when I got there at nighttime, so when the morning time came, I ain't know who was there, so I jump run out and get on the phone. I grab the phone. So when I get on, the dude tapped me. I said, "What's up?" Yo, man, you gotta get off the phone. Because I'm telling you, the phone was the thing back in jail. The
Mm,
phone you gotta be somebody to really use that phone.
mm,
So I said, "What's up, man? I'm on the phone." He said, "Yo, you only got a few minutes, you gotta get off." So I'm like, now in the streets, I'm a tough guy, but in jail, it's more tough guys too. You feel what I'm
mm,
saying? So, and my motto was, man, I'm gonna still be tough in here. Because you got some guys that go to jail, they tough in the streets, they go to jail, they be pussy. And you be
mm,
looking, hey, man, you was tough in jail. What in the streets? Why you soft in jail? So now the dude told me to get off the phone. I ain't get off. I'm talking to my boy, I ain't got no. And then so the dude punched me. He punched me in the side of my face.
mm,
And we started fighting. You know what I'm saying? So now the COs opened up the gate, pulled me out. And then now they took me to a different floor. Because mind you, the dude that punched me, he was in charge of that floor. So for to keep me there, they probably felt, yeah, this dude, he knew he just can't, let's send him somewhere else. So now when I go upstairs, guess what? I'm upstairs with all the dudes from my area. I see all my friends, they like, yo, what happened? I said, nah, I had a fight with the police, don't worry about it. So now I'm taking control of the phone because all my homeboys is up there. You follow what I'm saying? So now I started running the phone with them. And I'm
Okay.
gonna keep it fishy with you. I started doing the same thing. Yo, man, you gotta get off the phone.
Okay.
New dudes come in, though you got 2 minutes. Call your family, let them know you got it ready. Get off the phone. Because dudes like me and my crew, we get hours on the phone. That was the thing back then. It's still like that now. The phone, a lot of drama happens over the phone in Rikers Island, the Brooklyn House, any of them jails before you go upstate. The phone is the major beefs, the phone. So now, boom. So now, like I said, I'm on the floor now with all my homeboys is at. Now I'm doing the same thing to people. That's
Okay.
my do to me when I came in. You follow me?
Okay.
You know,
Okay. All right. So fast forward, you go from Brooklyn House Detention, you
go
go
up,
upstate.
yeah, the
So what's
mountain.
the first joint you land at?
Right, the first joint I landed was Sing Sing Correctional Facility. You know,
Okay.
they done made movies about Sing Sing. I went to Sing. So now that is my first time in Sing Sing. So now I'm looking at how everything is run. But the main thing I learned about jail is that just observe. Don't just be, because you can't just be when you go to, I want to take over this. You got to see who's who. You know what I'm saying? You, yeah, somebody calling me. I'm not answering. Let me hang up. Sing Sing.
Okay. So you landed at Sing Sing. So you're saying the first thing you gotta do is observe. So what
Yeah.
goes on there?
All right, right. The first thing, oh no, no. When I first came through, excuse my, it was booty bandits.
Mhm.
Dudes, what the fuck other dude? That was like popular back then. You know what I'm saying? And remind you, I was young. I was 21 years old. I still don't got no hair on my face. I don't get hair on my face, all these little piece foot. But I was real young looking. You know what I'm saying? But I had heart. I was no punk. I done saw dudes got. I saw a lot of dudes got raped. Dudes made dudes suck things. I saw all types of stuff. But I wasn't going for that. But the famous thing that they used to do back then, when you knew, put food on your bed.
Mhm.
You go to the yard and you come back, going yourself, damn, what's all these groceries on my bed? And that's a true story. Any old timer that's around my age that know about back in the day, that was the thing the booty bandits used to do. They'd put tatty chips, cookies. They know you knew. They could tell, oh, this guy just came up there. Let me try to see if I can make him my girl. You know what I'm saying? He's young. So you come to yourself. That never happened to me, but I done saw it happen to dudes. You come to yourself, you say, damn, what's all this food? So you start eating it. You say, damn, somebody must be cool with me. Then the dude to come to your cell later on big move up to get, yo, you got that food? You be like, he might come a day later. Yo, you got the food? What you talking about? The food I left. Oh yeah, you gave me your good looking out, homeboy. But the dude got other motives in his mind. You know what I'm saying? He wanna fuck you. You know what I'm saying? So what another thing that dudes used to do back then, because there used to be a lot of fight, they used to want to teach you how to box. Come on, man, I'm gonna show you how to box. You know? And by them showing you how to box, because they've been in jail like 20 something years, so they old timers, they be looking for the young dudes to try to teach them how to box, and they want to fuck them. I done saw all of that. You know what I'm
Now
saying?
speaking of boxing,
Yeah.
what have you ever heard of a thing called 52 blocks?
Yeah, the 52 is like this. Boom, boom, all types of shit like this. Yeah, yeah.
Okay. So
Yeah, yeah.
that's actually something that's real then.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. That ain't no made up. I don't know who started it, but yeah, the 52 block was official. Yeah, yeah. I
Okay.
don't know who started, but that's the true thing. The 52 blocks.
Did
Yep.
they teach you that in prison? I mean, like legitimate teacher to you?
Oh, that's what it was, man. Like dudes would play around, dudes that knew a little bit of something about it. They come on, man, 52, and they be doing all stuff. It ain't really nobody really teaching. There's other dudes because I don't know who started it, but when I came in jail, that was a popular thing. The 52 block. Yeah, that's a true story. The
Okay,
52 block,
gotcha.
where
Okay.
it came from, but dudes used to be mimicking it. You know what I'm saying? How they do
Mhm.
their arms are like this. They used to drop down to their knees, hit you on the knees, and then drop back up. They used to sweep you with their feet. Yeah, that's a true thing. But like I said, I don't know who started it. That's true.
And did you ever see anybody use it in a real fight?
Yeah, I saw people using it in real fight.
Okay.
Nice, like two dudes. They was doing all this stuff. Cause like I said, back then it was a lot of fighting.
Mm.
Even in the streets, my neighborhood people used to fight before I even went to jail. One of the things that was popular back then is that when you go to jail, you're gonna come out and know how to fight. It's
Mm.
like when I came over, and that was the thing. 52. Yeah, I saw a dude, and I saw some. I
And it
saw,
seemed like it's something that actually worked in the fight.
yeah, you still see somebody calling me. I'm not gonna mess with you. You can see me.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, I ain't gonna touch the phone. I'm not even gonna click them off. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah, but it definitely worked it in the fight. Yeah, the
Okay.
50, that's a true story on it. But like I said, I don't know who started it, but that's true right there. The 52 blocks.
Okay. So now Sing Sing Now, what was that like? This had to be about what year did you land there? About
I landed scene in July 1981. I still remember July in the summer of 1981.
okay. So what was going on in during that era? Like, what was it like as
All
far as
right,
how
like all right. Like I said, it was mainly you're talking about in prison, right?
you
It
in
was
prison?
about some booty bandit stuff.
Okay.
I'm Jews trying to talk to you, and so they can try to have sex with you and all types of shit. And they know how to do it. So they be your friend. They give you food. You know, you're a young dude in jail, but I was already aware of that. You know,
Mm.
because when you in the Brooklyn House of Detention, you hear about, so yo, when you go up north, you better watch them booty bandits. You young. So I was hearing all the stories, you know, from other people that been up there. They're telling me. So I said, oh, I'm going to be on point for that. So when certain, oh, and I ain't going to lie, I had certain old timers to try that, bull, not really try, but would attempt to. Like, yo, shorty, man, you all right, man? Hey, man, how old are you, man? And then they asked me how much time I got. They said, damn, you got 27 to life, damn, you're gonna be in a long time, and you got a girl. Like, just act. I said, I said, yo, listen, man, stop asking me questions, man. And if they see you a young dude with an attitude, don't give up, all right, shorty, you got that. They go to another weak one. You feel what I'm saying? They'll test you and see if you will go over it. And this is another thing that they'll do. They'll tap you on your leg. Yo, what's up, man? You all right? Man, don't touch me, man. What the fuck? But then they keep, the next thing you know, they tap you in your ass. I just saw them do that to dude. I said,
Mm.
damn, man, fuck that young dude right there. And a few times as I got older, I saved guys in prison. You know,
Mm.
but I get to that story later on how I saved dudes from booty bandits after they had like 15 years in. I saw other old timers try to do that to young dudes, and I would school the young dude. I said, yo, don't take nothing from the dude. They give you marijuana. He said, nah, but that's my friend. I said, listen, that dude is a booty bandit. You know what I'm saying? Guess what? Guess what the dude did? Put me on Front Street, told the dude. And the
Mm.
dude could have stabbed the shit out of me. But he came to me and told me. He said, yo, Knowledge. I said, what's up? Yo, man, why you told Shorty, man, I want to fuck him? I said, because, and I was tight. I said, I'm gonna curse Shorty out. You know, when I met, I said, yeah, I did that. But good thing I had a little name back then. He could have stabbed me in my neck. Yo, why the fuck you telling this young dude I want to fuck him? So he kept it official. And I ain't lied. I said, yeah, I told him, man. So then I went to Shorty. I said, yo, man, why you told him? I said, man, I'm gonna stop trying to save people. You know what I'm saying? That could have caused me some from saving them, telling them, yo, don't take nothing from that dude. He trying to fuck you.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? That could have caused me something. You know, but that was years later when I told somebody about that. But you can continue and stuff. You
All right.
continue.
So now you okay? So now it's something. From my understanding, the 5% Nation, which kind of like is like an offshot of
Oh,
the
like
Nation of Islam.
yeah, 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 yeah.
Okay. So now, at what point were they prevalent in the system during the 80s when you got there, or did you embrace that
Yeah,
later? Because I
yeah,
know your name is Knowledge, not
yeah,
that's
yeah,
like a
yeah.
5% name, right?
Yeah, yeah. But that it was real popular back then. You hear me?
Mm.
But it wasn't like starting trouble. It was just for unity, teaching you lessons. You know what I'm saying? Teaching you that the original black man is God. It was lessons you had to study and all that. But like years later, I changed my name to Neals. I'll tell you why as we go on. I'll tell you why I
Okay.
changed my name.
Okay. So how did you get with the 5%ers? I understand that you were with them for a while, but then something happened where you kind of broke away from them. Tell that
Yeah.
story.
All right. Yo, I was with them. And then years later, when I'm upstate doing my 27 to life, I was starting a lot of trouble. So it was this 5%. I like jewelry. This 5% dude, he had a chain. Not as big as this, but a small one, because you can't wear big joints in jail. I took it from him, you know? So now the 5%ers, they came to me, said, yo, Knowledge, man. Yo, man, you took. So now, mind you, I got a life sentence. I don't care. I'm gonna do what I gotta do. Like in the streets, I'm robbing. I'm like, I'm gonna die in prison. That's what I thought. Thank God I'm home. But so when I took the dude chain, the 5%ers came to me, they wanted it back. I said, I'm not giving nothing back. So now they said, yo, man. And then I said this, check this, but you supposed to be a guard, but you supposed to be good. I said, check this out. Don't even call me Knowledge no more. So I was thinking of a name that they could call me. So I kept saying,
Mm.
I can't use my real name. I said, Neals Zolid. So I picked the name Neals. If I
Mm.
just picked it out the top of my head. So then, dude, don't get me wrong. To this day, people still call me Knowledge. But most dudes that met me in prison, I changed my name in prison after I was there for a few years. And I took this dude chain. He was a 5%. So most dudes that know me for a long time ago, you hear them say, yo, Knowledge. And the dudes that, well, when I changed it, like Neil, but most people know me as Neil because they had that name longer. You know, so that's why
Okay.
I had changed my name and stuff because of an incident I had with another 5% dude. I took something from which I wasn't supposed to do that, but I was at the mindset back then. Man, I might die in here, man. I'm gonna live like I did in the street. If I see someone, I'm taking it. I took it from her.
And did they let that go, or did you have to, did it turn into? Did they let the fact that you took the guy's chain, one of their brother's chains?
They let this go. Like I said, I already had a little name,
Okay.
little station in there for doing stuff, stabbings and all types of stuff. I had a name back then, but if I probably had no name, then I had a nice little crew. You know what I'm saying? That's one thing about prison, right? I could get to the story later. I even had a beef with two blood dudes before. Punk ass motherfuckers. They tried to take my chain in jail. We was fighting, and my chain popped off. And then the other one, but they ain't take my chain. And then this happened. What y'all? That was in Clinton. Was that Clinton? Let me see. That was in Attica. Yeah. So I had a beef with some blood dudes. Boom. This when they started getting popular. First it was the Latin Kings, then the blood dude. So I had a beef.
Yeah, let's stop there. Let's before you
Okay.
tell the story about the beef. Okay, around what year do you remember that the like the nationwide gangs, national gangs started coming up? The
All
Latin
right.
Kings of Chicago, LA gangs.
All right.
About what year?
I'm gonna tell you. Um. Let me see. I was in Attica. That's when I first heard of the Latin. I said, "What the hell is that?" The Latin Kings was the first ones that came. They came. The dude from Chicago, he came over there. What's this dude name? They got him in a federal prison doing mad time, lockdown.
King Blood.
Yeah. That's it. You don't know. That's it right there. Yeah, him. He came and he started something with the Spanish dude, and then they started getting stronger and stronger. Then they used to be jumping blacks, not blacks like me. Certain blacks that get busy, but we used to feel sorry for them. Like, damn, these motherfuckers. But then the Nubians, it was this some blacks. They started a thing called Nubians, and then they started fighting back against the Latin Kings. You know what I'm saying? But like I said, they was picking who they do stuff to. You know what I'm saying? I was cool with some. They pick who they do, but I used to feel sorry for certain. But no, they used to do it themselves. They used to be banging on the gate, like trying to intimidate people, talking about Amana Ray. I think that means King, but I forgot what that means.
King Love.
Yeah. And they used to be hitting the gate, going boom, like doing roll call like that. So I said, man, what the hell is going on? I said, man, prison is changing, man, up and down. So I watched that prison change. So now, a few years later, I started hearing about the young black dudes on Rikers Island. They started something called Blood. So now I'm saying in my mind, damn, New York, we ain't never had this shit. It's coming from Chicago, it's coming from LA. But anyway, I'm on the outside observer. I never was in none of that. But I know that was in both. I got good friends that was blood to this day too. So now I started hearing about the young dudes on Rikers Island. They're going to war against the Latin Kings. And they got the thing called blood. So I said, damn. So now it comes upstate. Boom. So remind you, this Latin Kings, they were strong. I'm gonna keep it official with you. Once the blood started getting power, you ain't hear nothing else about the Latin Kings. Some of them even joined the Bloods. And I was saying, damn, why you let them motherfuckers join this shit? And they was just with this. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, you ain't hear nothing else about the Latin Kings that was demolished. But then what had me tight after that, the Bloods, they started fighting against each other. Different this set ain't like that. So I said, God, then what the hell is going on? And then after that, just before I came home, I started hearing Crips start. Somebody started some Crip shit. So now they got all that over here in New York State and in the prison system. But when I first knew, they had none of that. You know?
Okay. So that's interesting. So the Kings, the Latin Kings were the first
Yeah,
organized gang to come to the joint.
yeah, that's right.
And they kind of was pushing their agenda, and then the Bloods came in and knocked them off the mark.
Yeah, smashed them. You ain't hear nothing else.
Okay. And then instead of sticking together, the Bloods turned on each other.
Yeah, certain sets started having beef. I was looking, I said, damn, man, these dudes, man, what the fuck is wrong? You know, even in society today, we killing each other. You know, our ancestors is turning over, you know, and the stuff they fought for and protest for us to learn how to read and write, even to vote. Blacks don't even take the opportunity to vote. A lot of young blacks in the streets getting money. I'm not voting. That's why they got this dude Trump in office doing all types of crazy things, you know? But again, you can continue whatever you want to.
Yeah. Okay. So before the Bloods came, I mean, was it the Latin Kings? What was in the blacks? Was it constant fighting, or was it like you said they picked on certain blacks, or the blacks get together and say,
certain blacks they ain't trying to do? Because I'm gonna tell you right now, I stabbed the Latin King, right? I'm gonna tell you about that story. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Let me tell you about that story. So now, this is Shawanga Correctional Facility. So I had this Spanish dude. He was my man named Fingers. He got like a half an arm in his fingers. That's why they call him Fingers. But he was in jail for murder. Boom. So now he get a lot of drugs. So I had him under my wing, protecting him. But he was Spanish. Of Come on, we're gonna get this money. You're going to visit, get what you got to get. We're gonna sell it, make money. So now this particular Spanish dude, right? Because he speaks Spanish, he started talking to him in Spanish because I ain't know Spanish. You know, I be with all nationalities in jail. So he started talking to him in Spanish, and I saw that. And I know this dude for being a dude that like to be a troublemaker like me. So I told him, I said, yo, man, what are you talking to me about? Nah, I said, yo, watch him. That dude he might try to, because he know you get drugs, but you with me, I don't think he gonna try nothing. The next day, the dude fingers, he come outside. Yo, Neals, what's up? Yo, man, I let the guy hold my tapes. That's when it was cassette tapes. I let him hold my tapes. He told me he's keeping them unless I give him a certain amount of drugs. I said, what? So I went to the Spanish dude. I said, yo, come let me talk to you. His name was Negrito. I said, yo, Negrito, come here. He said, what's up, Neils? I said, yo, man, you know this dude is with me, right? You see him walking around the yard with me and everything, and you know he's giving me shit and I'm selling it. Yo, give him back his tapes. So he didn't respect what I said. He said, nah, man, he shouldn't have promised me nothing. So I said, you promised him something? Nah, I ain't promised him nothing. He might have did promise him, but I said, yo, Negrito, on the strength for me, man. You know me from other jails. You know I don't play no games. You don't play no games either. Could you give him back his tapes? I did it in a nice way. I said, he gonna get stabbed. You don't give him back the tape. I ain't wanted like, yo. I was calm. So he said, nah, I'm not giving it back to him. I said, all right, no problem. So I took the Spanish dude, his name is Fingers. We walking around the yard. I said, yo, I'm gonna stab that motherfucker. So Fingers said, nah, man. Let me do it myself, man. I said, but you got one hand that's good. He said, man, tie the gun around my hand. So I said, tomorrow we're gonna stab this nigga. So now we come outside to the yard. We go in the bathroom. I had an ice pick. I tied it around his arm because he got one whole arm, but the other one is like half. I tied it. I said, put it inside your sweatshirt hood and walk around. It was wintertime, so nobody could know you got it. I said, I'm going to take the dude, the Greek dude, I'm going to take him to the side and talk to him. And then when I scratch my head, I want you to stab the shit out of him. I had a knife on me too. And I had some of my other partners in the yard because, like I said, during that time where we did that, the Latin Kings was strong. And one of the dudes that I stabbed during that incident when the war broke out in the yard was a Latin King. But let me take you step by step. So now I'm in the yard, Shawanga yard. The dude Negrito come out and said, let me talk to you, bro. But he all thinking he tough, not knowing you can't make get stabbed. Like, you going to the hospital. In my mind, you going to the fucking hospital. So he's talking to me. So I said, damn, Negrito, man, you know how this shit go, man. If you had a guy under the wing, I wouldn't step on your toes. But come on, man. He said, nah, Neals, man, fuck that motherfucker. He getting all them drugs, man. Once he give me something, I'm gonna give him the take back. Then you could continue because I know you got him. So now I'm in my mind. I say, you know, I got him, and you violate me, you getting stabbed tonight. So now I got my back against the wall, and the dude is standing in front of me, right? So he don't know what's going on behind him. So I told my master when I scratched my head, start walking towards him and stab that nigga. So he walked towards him. Check it out. I thought the dude was dead. He hit him in the neck. Bow. And the dude fell on the floor. I said, oh shit, this nigga might be dead. So I walked away, right? But the dude, don't get me wrong, all of us work out. The dude was on the floor for a few seconds. He jumped up. Now he ain't have no knife. So he ran to, when you lift weights, he ran to the weight bar area and he grabbed a weight bar and he started chasing the dude fingers around the yard. So now everybody in the yard, there's commotion. So me, I see another dude. This is a Latin King dude. He tried to grab fingers. So I eased over, hit him in the chest. Bow. He fell. Now during this time, the police are shooting. They all come out. Everybody on the floor. So boom. Now they took us in. I go to the box. Fingers go to the box. Everybody that was involved in the incident went to the box. The dude Fingers, his mom's called me on a visit. I'm in the box. I didn't even know who she was. They said, you got a visit. I said, who? They said the name. I said, all right, I'm chained up. She said, yo, I want to thank you for saving my son. He told me, yo, I'm going to put some money in your account. I said, don't worry about it and stuff. Boom. So that was one instance. So now, mind you, I said I hit a Latin King. So now after I came out the box, I think I did 2 years in the box for that stabbing. So after I came out the box, they sent me up north to Clinton Correctional Facility. So as soon as I arrived there, like I said, I was kind of a known dude back then. My friends, yo, here go a knife, man, So now I go to the yard. Now another Spanish dude that grew up in my neighborhood, he was a Latin King, and he heard them talking about me. They said, yo, one of the brothers that hit one of our Latin King brothers, he just got to the jail. Because see, when you come to a new jail, dudes that got certain positions working as a clerk, they get the names of everybody who coming in. And they had my name. So So they saw my name. They said, oh, this dude came in here out, bro. Because they used to say, Kite, like, you get in beef with a dude in one jail and you leave. They got your real name. They send it to the next jail. So you follow what I'm saying? So they waiting for you. You know what I'm saying? So they was waiting for me. So now, and I like I said, I had mad black dudes, Jamaican. I even had Spanish dudes down with me. So I come to the yard. And my man, I didn't know which one was going to try to hit me. So one of my mans, he was a Latin King. I'm mad he joined that shit. He grew up in my neighborhood. But I guess he joined it for protection. I ain't mad at him and shit. So he came to me, yo, Knowledge. He called me by my street name, even though I changed it. He said, yo, man, they got a hit out on you. He said, the Latin King. I said, yo, you a Latin King, motherfucker. I ain't seen him in years. I grew up with him. I said, man, the fuck? I said, but I was glad he was because he let me know the dude that was supposed to hit me. So now what I did, I rounded up all my people because they still ain't know who I was. Or guess how they describe me? Because I got a big ass head. He said the guy got a big head, and my head was wavy, but I'm older now. I'm almost 70 years old. So they said, yo, the guy got a big head, and I wore jewelry in jail. You had to be somebody to wear jewelry in jail. You know, I had a chain, gold, and all that shit. Oh, I ain't weigh 200 pounds, but my heart was, I had a heart like a ton, like I weighed a ton. But anyway, so now when I go to the yard, the dude came to me and he hit me what was going on. So I got all my people, I rounded them up. I said, yo, we're going to go on the court. In Clinton, they got courts where you cook food. I'm trying to get people that don't know how Clinton jail is. Clinton is a jail that got courts. They got like stoves, some metal garbage cans. They give us wood. We chop it up and we start and you cook. It's like some prehistoric shit, but it works. We cook our food out there. So now everybody got their court. They got the Brooklyn court. They got the Muslim court. You know what I'm saying? They got the neutral people that ain't in gangs and all that. So the Latin Kings, they had their courts. So I go up there. Now, mind you, the dude that told me about it, he's standing near them. He was going to start stabbing them too because he from my neighbor. I said, yo, you cross me for these motherfuckers. You know you ain't going to come back home. He said, nah, I'm with you, man. So I go up there. So now you got to show respect. You don't just walk on a man's court. You wait because they got like a little thing. And you say, yo, bro, can I talk to you? And my people was like on the side, scattered, because the yard be so crowded. They didn't even know people was down with me. So I go on the court to the Spanish dude. He was the head of the Latin Kings back then. I forgot his fucking name. A big fat dude. So I went to him. He eating. He said, "What's up, bro?" I said, "Yo, man, you looking for me?" Check out what I said it. I said, "You looking for me?" He said, "Who's you?" I said, "I'm the dude Neals Knowledge with the shit that happened in the other jail." So he was fucked up. I said, yeah, but I was close up on him. And I had a hood on, like how you got a hood, but they had like the pouch pocket. And I had the knife. I had 2 knives on me, just like that. And I'm surrounded by Latin Kings because that's their area. But they don't know. Right outside their area was all my people just waiting, you know, for the shit to jump off. So now, and I told him, I said, yeah. So now he getting nervous now because he said, damn, this black motherfucker came all the way up here and confronted me. So he said in his mind, I know this nigga got shit. He already hit one of our brothers in another jail. He knew I wasn't coming up there with a white flag. You follow what I'm saying, man? He knew. He said, damn it, I came on a court where all of them was surrounded. And I said, yo, you looking for me? He was fucked up. He said, who's you? And I told him my name. He said, then he saw my wavy, he saw the chain I had on. Because that's how my man told me they described it. They was looking for me. They had my name, but they didn't know how I looked. They just had a description. So now when I'm talking to him, I eased up on him close too. So if he tried to start stabbing the shit out of this fat motherfucker, and if his people would have jumped me, all my people was right outside, but it tore that yard up. So now me and him talking. So I told him what happened. I said, listen, yo, one of your Land King brothers took something from another Spanish dude, was my man, and that's where he got what he deserved. Now I'm here. What's up? Nah, bro, that's all right, man. Everything's. Then he saw the blacks that was down with me, other people, they started coming closer. He said, damn, where these motherfuckers? So he saw they was outnumbered. See, that's one thing about jail. Dudes, when it's a bunch of them, they act tough. But when you show that you got strength too, now they want to get some shit like a white flag. All right, could we talk? But if you don't got peoples, they're going to demolish you. And that's what they was doing to a lot of blacks that didn't really have people down with them. They was just demolishing them. And I used to feel sorry for some of them. But me, I had a name back then, so I ain't had to worry about it. Not saying nothing can happen to me, but I ain't had to worry about that. Anytime I used to go to jail, guess what happened when I first get there? Because when you first get to a new jail, you can't come outside. Because you gotta see the sergeant, and he gotta look at your record from when you was in other jail, see who your enemies is, and then he asks you, yo, do you got any enemies? Some dudes be punks. You all don't want to steer, and they put them in PC. You know what I'm saying? So when I first get to jail, most people that's on that war shit, they look and they say, oh shit, Knowledge just got here. They know my real name. And they'll come to my cell, bring me food, Your head got a knife, man. When you come to yard, we're gonna walk around with you. That's how I do brothers too. When I'm in the jail and one of my friends come there and I know he getting a lot of trouble, yo, tell him when he come out, wait for it. We're gonna be right outside waiting for him, and we're gonna walk around in yard, see who your enemies is. That's how it was back. That's how it still is today. You know, like I said, I've been home 13 years now, but I did 33 years straight. So I can tell you all about the ins and outs of prison, what to do and what not to do. That's why I'm getting ready to write a book too. You know, and before we finish it, I want to let people know my Facebook account and my
Oh yeah, we're gonna get to all that.
you know what
Oh
I'm saying?
yeah.
I want to do that and shit, you know.
And
So
about, to your best of your recollection, about what year was in Clinton and confronted the guy?
all right, I'm gonna tell you what year, yo, because I was in clean like 3 and 4 times. I kept going to the bus coming. I'm gonna tell you what year that was. Okay, okay. Let me see. I was in there a bunch of times. I said, damn, was it like in the 80s? Yeah, I think it was like, let me see. At first I was in Attica in 86. I would say like probably the late, yeah, it got to be the late 80s and shit.
Okay.
The late 80s I was there. But I was there like 3 and 4 times. I get in trouble. See, Clinton is a prison where people is bad behavior. See, the jails that's close to New York City is Green Haven, is Sing Sing, which I was in, but I was only there for reception. And what else? Easton, Nap and Nap. I'm talking about max. I ain't talking about mediums and stuff. You know, I remember one time you asked me something about Green. Green was mediums, but the medium jails get busy too. But mainly the max jails is where you got some serious beefs where dudes in there, most of them got life and they ain't never going home. But one thing about prison, I can tell you right now, anybody that's listening, real people recognize real. Like if you're a gangster and dudes heard about you and another gangster come, you hear about them, or y'all may know people who know somebody, so that's my man. See, real people don't usually get into beefs because they respect each other. That's why I was disappointed at that dude Negrito for taking my man. He really gave him the take, but saying I'm not gonna give it back because he get busy too. You know, but sometimes you get real, recognized real, and they still want to try to step on your toes, and that's when the war gonna break out. And that's what happened in the yard. He got stabbed in the neck, and the other Latins tried to jump in, and it was just knives and fighting. Then we had to get on the ground. Then I go to another jail. They had a hit out on me. You follow what I'm saying? Very rarely you find real gangster people in prison getting into beefs, at least in New York State, because real recognize real. They know that, damn, I get into beef with this. But if it's something that where it can't be helped, well, oh man, you took some or money was involved, and usually they try to squash it. Like say like I've got a crew and it's another crew, we all respect each other. They'll come to me, yo, Neil, what's up? Yo, man, your man, he owes some money, man. He bought drugs off of us. And I go, yo, man, you owe the motherfuckers money? Yeah, man, but I told him I'm gonna pay him. Yo, listen, we're gonna pay that debt. Just to, you know what I'm saying? Just to squash it. You know what I'm saying? Because real reckon. But now, if the dude with the candy man that's a bird, yo, my man owe you money. Man, he not paying you. Get the fuck out of here. You know what I'm saying? That's how it goes. Like I said, I can tell you about prison. I was in there from the age of 21. I came home at the age of 54. That's why I'm going to write this book, because I want my book to tell people the ins and outs of prison and what to do to stay out of prison. Because to be honest, prison is for suckers. I wasted my life in prison. You follow what I'm saying? I went to prison. I had 2 daughters. And guess how they knew me? Through prison. They was 1 and 2 years old. And once they turned 17 and 18, guess what? They came to see me. And I'm gonna put the pictures in my book too. I'm gonna tell everything. My mother and I had 2 brothers. They went to prison. They wound up getting life too. But I'm the oldest out of my brothers.
Now,
They behind me and they went to prison too.
now, since you brought your brothers up, I'm gonna switch gears a little bit.
Okay.
Now, I understand that it was like a major incident, almost like some out of a movie at the
Yeah.
courthouse with your brothers. Tell that
Yeah.
story.
All right. Now my brothers, right? When they blew trial, they was in jail for robbing a crack spot and killed somebody. Now, mind you, I'm already in jail. Got 7 years in upstate. So the day that they were supposed to get sentenced in court, back then, when you in a Brooklyn house and in Rikers Island, you used to come to court. Anybody that know that the system of Rikers, you used to come to court and bring boxes of cookies, like little snacks,
Mm-hmm.
right? Now the cookie box got to be sealed, right? And most cookie box got like aluminum on it on the inside. So what they would do to go to court, they got to go through a metal detector. But the boxes of cookies, you just put it on the side and they don't scan that, you know. But they always sealed. So my brother, they devised the plan. Yo, man, when we go to court today, yo, we gonna bring some knives. We just gonna I don't even know why they did it, but they did this shit because you ain't making it out the courtroom and shit. But anyway, so they got the knives in the courtroom. So while they sitting down, this is my brother telling me about it later on when I saw him upstate. I said, because it was all in the newspapers, the front page of the New York Post. This is the year that happened. November 1987. You know, on the front page of the New York Post, it said 3 killers slash, I think it was 13 court officers they stabbed and stuff, or slashed them. That was the paper said. It was in all the papers. So anyway, let me finish the story. So now, my brother, he told me like this. He said, yo, man, I was so tight, man. I was getting ready to go upstate. He said, man, I wanted to go out with a bang. I said, you want to go? Now we upstate in the yard walking. He telling me, I said, man, do that dumb shit, man. He said, man, I don't give a fuck. So anyway, but it changed the laws. It stopped to this day because of my brothers. They stopped people going to court bringing snacks. Because usually you go to court, you be in the bullpen. You don't want to eat that hard bologna sandwiches and dry stuff. They let you bring snacks. So they found out. They said, how these motherfuckers get these knives? Then they found the, no more snacks to the courtroom. See what I'm saying? They changed that law because of them, you know.
What were they doing? Trying to do? Just take over
I don't know.
the state
I
or
don't.
what?
I don't know what the fuck they were trying to do, you know. And I guess the way I see it is that my brother, he just wanted to go out with a bang. Because I said, man, you wasn't making. You trying to do some George Jackson shit with Johnny. You ain't making it out the courtroom. Because all through the court hallways is officers and stuff. You know what I'm saying? I guess they just wanted to just, man, we going back upstate. Fuck that. We want to go upstate with a bang. You know what I'm saying? Some people just do shit just to do it, knowing you already get. And they gave him a life sentence too. My brother got life sentence too. But guess what? They made it home. They home now, both of them.
Oh, are
Yeah,
they out? Okay.
yeah. And check this out, my brother. I thought they wasn't gonna make it. I said, your shit was in the newspapers, all the newspapers. And guess how I found out about it? I'm in Clinton. Boom. So dudes came to me with the newspaper. They said, yo, look, man, because I ain't get to call my mother yet. So I ran to the phone. I said, yo, mom. My mom was so embarrassed. My mom said, everybody in the project's talking about what my sons did. I feel so embarrassed. Y'all gonna drive me crazy and stuff. But in prison, that gave them more notoriety, these my brothers and them. You know what I'm saying? When you do something against the system, oh yeah, them motherfuckers ain't playing. So that put their name on more. So now check this out. I'm already in there with 7 years. Now my 2 brothers is in there. So now we more stronger. You know what I'm saying? It's brothers, Bill. No, they in a certain jail. I'm in a certain jail. So anytime we get beefs or something, we can send letters. Yo, bro, this guy coming over there, he owe my man $200. Get this shit. And they get to the jail. Oh, yo, you Neals, brother. Yo, you owe somebody money? Yo, you better. So we was real strong. Anybody tell you, the Brodie brothers, whoever listened to this, said, yeah, the Brodie, but they was strong upstate. We was real strong upstate because we got busy, we had a life sentence, and we ain't give a fuck. You know what I'm saying? And this is what I'm gonna put in my book of the pain that I put my mother through. And thank God my mom's be 90 years old in 2 more years. She stayed alive to when we all came home, and she's still alive right now.
Awesome. Now, speaking of coming home, before I switch gears, I want to show the readers because I understand
Yeah, thank you.
that you had something with the news. It was kind of an interesting story. But before I get to that, because we winding down with time, I just
Okay.
want to ask you a question about Clinton. Was there ever any cases like Clinton or any of those Mex joints that you was involved in the riot, or
Oh,
did you ever riot with the Kings or anything like that? Or was most of these just individual, like 101, 201?
nah, I wasn't involved in that. But I done saw stuff like that happen. Yeah, nah, I wasn't out. Nah, I never was out.
Okay, okay, all right. So, all right. So I'm fast forwarding.
Okay, bro.
So when you come home, okay, let me ask you this. Your last couple of years, when did you start transforming? Like I said, you was a big time guy. Like I said, you was hardcore. You had
Yeah,
your
yeah.
name in the streets,
Oh,
name in there. When did you start to kind of like,
oh,
okay, this is not the life for me no more?
yeah. Okay. Yo, check it out. 21 is when I came in here. And when I turned 48, that's
Mm-hmm.
my first time going to see the parole board. I said, oh, shit, I make it home. But
Mm-hmm.
when you go see the parole board, because you had life on the end of your sentence, the parole board sees you, ask you questions. They look at your record, what you've been doing in prison. They looked at my record. Well, you was an asshole. 2 years. The most they could hit you with was 2 years. They could keep hitting you with 2 years till you die. Like I said, I had a life sentence. So they hit me with 2 years. So then after that, I started changing. I said, oh shit, I might could go home. So I started like doing all the programs they wanted me to do. I started learning how to speak. I went to some public speaking classes. They prepare you how to speak at the parole board. Now, remember I said 48, right?
Mm-hmm.
But the first time I went to the parole board, they gave me 2 years. I came back, I was 50. see them again. They ask me more questions. They see I improve, but not too much. They say, all right, Mr. Brodie, we see you improving, but take these 2 years. So now I go back. I'm 52 years old. So now I'm frustrated. But other old timers that been in there long, they say, yo, man, don't let them frustrate you. Just keep doing what you've been doing. I was like, man, I feel like going back to my old way. Fuck this shit. I might not. But then I started thinking, so the old timers school me. They said, yo, man, that's what they want you to do. Calm down, bro. You're going to make it home. So mind you, I'm 52. Then I go back again. I'm 54. And boom, I changed so much. They looked at my shit. They said, oh, man, you. And I learned how to speak. But I told them, I said, oh, look, I go home. I want to be a productive member of society. And then I also said that person that I once was that committed that crime, I hate that person. I'm no longer, and I really meant that. And they saw the sincereness of me speaking because, like I said, I went to public speaking classes and they taught me how to speak with emotion, how to sit straight up. There's certain things you got to do that the parole board look at when you speaking to them. And they see if you sincere. So they said this thing to me that made me really think I was going to go home. I wasn't sure. They said, oh, Mr. Brodie, you came in here. You was a young man, 21 years old. You're 54. If we let you go, we're not saying we're going to let you go, but if we let you go, you know you come back and you're going to die. And I said, and I forgot the parole commissioner name. I'm going to just say Commissioner Jones. Commissioner Jones, I promise you, y'all let me go home. I'm going to be a productive member of society. I'm not never coming back in. Like I said, I hate the person I once was. I'm no longer that person. And he said, all right, we're going to see. They said, all right, go back to your cell. So when I go back, they don't let you know right then and there if you're going home. They let you wait 5 days later. You're on suspense. Like, damn, am I going to go home? So then when they gave out that mail that Friday, Brodie, come get your parole thing. I was scared to open it up. Everybody, yo, would they let you go? I said, I don't know. They ain't let me go all these left. I opened it up. They said, you've been granted parole. I started crying and everything. Everybody started clapping for me. I know some dudes was hating. You know, I mean, that motherfucker go home. He always used to start trouble. But I changed. You follow what I'm saying, bro? I changed.
So let me ask you this. So you say you changed. I mean, but what kind of battle was the change? Because you still in that urban jungle of a prison. You still got people wanting to fight, do all this. So how were you able to navigate that and change at the same time?
Okay. This is how I changed, right? I started staying away from people that I used to be with, starting trouble. Like dudes coming off the visit, we would go, yo, man, you got some balloon in? So go upstairs and bring them shits out. I used to do all of that. I even had dudes stab dudes for me. Yo, hit that. I did all of that shit. You know what I'm saying? But what I did, I started pulling back from that. I still greeted them brothers. And like I said, most of the dudes that was doing that with me, some of them changed too, because now we older. Mind you, I was 21. Like 21. Now I'm 50. You see what I'm saying? So I said, damn, I can't keep doing the same thing. I'm going to keep getting the same results. You follow me, bro? So I said, I got to change, man. And then when I changed, they let me go. Hey, yo, I didn't even know about Facebook. One of my daughters, I heard when I first came, she put it on Facebook. So I'm like, what's Facebook? Because when I was home, they ain't had none of that. They had regular telephones. You know what I'm saying? With the receiver like that. And you go to the phone booth, put a dime in. I wasn't even out there when they had beepers. You feel what I'm saying? I wasn't out there for none of that, bro. So now when I came home, which you're going to show my video, you're going to see how it took me a long time to learn about the phone. If you could.
Yeah, because I'm going to try to show the video. Now, I hope this works. I'm not the best with tech, so I hope this works.
Yeah.
I'm just going to show a clip of it. You can kind of tell us the history behind that.
All right, bro.
This one.
It was in Brooklyn. It was in December 1979. I was 21 years old, and I felt that I ain't have to work, that I could just go out there.
Are you able to see it? Can you see the video?
I can see it, my brother. I can see it. I spent 33 years of my life behind bars for a crime which I deeply regret. I took an innocent man's life during the course of an armed robbery. Jury found me guilty the same day that my grandmother passed away, February the 10th, 1981. Having 25 to life at the age of 21, you feel you ain't coming home. If I could go back in time, I would never have lived the life that I lived, going around robbing people, having a disregard for other people's property. Because I know deep in my heart, my mother didn't raise me like that. And I thank God during my 33 years, my family stuck by my side. When I came to prison, my mother was 40-something years old, and now she's 75 years old. I watched my mom get old behind bars. Because I went to prison, my daughter was like 1 and 2 years old. Now they grown women with kids. When I came home, I was like kind of like lost. I was like, what I'm gonna do? Do they got anything that's gonna help people like me? So I said, we stand behind.
All right. So that's the quick. So tell the story. Now from my understanding, it's a really interesting story behind that news clip, and that's supposed to be something bigger. So tell about that.
All right. Okay. Now, how how I got to do that? I only been home like maybe 8 months, but like when I came home, I had to join other programs. Like even the programs I didn't put, I guess that's because they wanted to make money. I had to go to drug program. I had to go to anger management programs. Sit there in a circle with guys talking. All of us just came home, but this is something that we had to do. I guess so they can make money off of us. So boom. So I was in this particular program that District Attorney Charles Hines had, you know, and called Calm Alert. So now when I was in that program, he was getting ready to run for re-election again. Don't mind, he's a DA, he put people in prison, but he had a program for when you come home that'll help you. So I was a part of that program. So he had to sign papers. Yo, the news people gonna be here, so we want to get y'all consent. So they're gonna be filming y'all. So now I'm up there speaking, but you ain't show that part, I guess, because you got time. But anyway, I'm up there speaking. So while I'm speaking, this dude from CBS News, his name, I still got his card, Chris O'Connor. I'm putting all this in my book too. Chris O'Connor. He heard me speaking. So after I got there, everybody clapped for me. It was lawyers, everybody in there. I get down, I have my suit on, tie. So he said, come here, Mr. Brodie. I said, how you doing? He said, I'm Chris O'Connor. I'm from CBS, 48 Hours. Yo, man, you spoke very well. You got an interesting story. You mind we do a story on you? So now I'm happy as hell. I just came home. I said, yeah, I'm going to be on TV. So boom, he said, all right, take my card. I'm going to call you. So I got the card. Weeks go by. His mom ain't call me. Then he called me because I guess he was busy doing other news stories. He said, yo, Mr. Brodie. I said, who's this? This is Chris O'Connor. Remember we met him? I said, oh, yeah, how you doing? Listen, man, I'm going to have the camera crew come out and see you. Give me an address where you're going to be at, blah, blah, blah. So he went through the whole shit. And I gave him, because I was in like one of them halfway houses. So they came. You wasn't able to show that, but anyway, because you got short for time. But they came, and I had to get permission from the lady that run the halfway house. She was happy. She said, oh, we're gonna be on the news. Yeah, they could come. So boom. And then they wanted to come to the church because I joined my mom's church. So I told my preacher, he said, oh, yeah, they could come. He had to sign papers. Boom. So now they came. Yo, and then mind you, I only been home like about 8 months. So I'm writing dudes in jails, my friend. Yo, man, make sure you watch 48 Hours. I'm gonna let you know it's gonna come on TV. I'm gonna be on there doing a story on me. Now they filmed me for like hours, follow me on the train. I'm going to the supermarket. Boom. They had to get permission from the supermarket guy. Yo, and he said, oh yeah. He said, yeah, y'all can film. Make sure you get my store. Put it on. So boom. I go in there. Females at the cashier, they like, yo, come on my line. Because they wanted to be on TV too. Because they filming it now. They wired me up. And I ain't used to that shit. They had to wire you on me and all this shit. I'm like, damn, man, I'm going to be on TV more. So I knew God had a purpose for me. Because this dude, Chris O'Connor, he recognized me speaking. That's why my book going to be official. You know, he said, yo, man, I want to do a story on you. And not only that, I spoke at colleges, LaGuardia College. I spoke to gang. I did a lot of speaking engagements because I want to give back to my community. I don't want to glorify what I've done. I want to say what I've done and tell how I change. You follow what I'm saying, bro? So now, Chris O'Connor, boom, he did the whole, he had people come. I still got pictures of the film crew. I took pictures with, I was so happy. Yo, they take pictures. So now, when they came and did all this, they followed me on the train too. I remember one segment, they said, just go on the train and sit down, act normal. So I sat down. So these females were sitting across from me. They looking at me and they see the camera. They said, oh, man, he must be doing a rap video. And I said to myself, man, but I ain't said to them, man, do you hear me singing or something? I'm just looking, they told me, go on the train, just act like you're looking at your phone, look normal. We want to catch you in different segments. So anyway, make a long story short, when it was time for it to supposed to be on TV, they called me. They had me meeting them in a restaurant. So boom. So now this camera crew told me, yo, Mr. Brodie, they said your story is too long to put on TV. So now I don't know what's going on. I just came home. I've been on like 8 months. I said, what the fuck? I'm telling people in jail I'm going to be on. So they said, listen, Mr. Brodie, Chris O'Connor that wanted to do your story, he's in Canada doing another story. The new producer that took over, he said your story is too long. So what we did, we chopped it up into like 3.5 minutes and we gave you a disc. Now I didn't know what a disc meant. They said, but then I told you, yo, can I get the whole segment? I wanted to use that to get me in the doors of other stuff.
Right.
But they say I can't get that. That's their property. So that little disc that I got that I showed you, I got like copies of that. I use that anytime I go somewhere and speak. And then it's how they chopped it up, as you see for yourself. You know?
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So as we wind down, okay, so you mentioned that you get a book coming out. Like,
Yeah.
when can we expect that? Is it in the works or what's going on with that?
I got to see the guy because you know the stuff. You heard me with my mother. I'm going through stuff with my mom, so I'm helping.
Right.
you know. And like I said, I moved to New Jersey now, but right now I'm in Brooklyn doing this interview with you. I'm in Bedford Stuyvesant.
Okay.
Project. That's where I grew up at. When I do the book, I would like for you to let the audience knows about it, and I would also to get my Instagram thing and my
Yeah, please shout
Facebook.
out. Yeah, you know, if anybody else out there wants like to interview this brother, where can people contact you? They want to get the
All right,
story,
all right,
have
all
you
right.
speak.
All right. My Facebook page, and if you go on my Facebook page, you'll see all the things I've been doing since I've been home, giving out coats to people. I was with this anti-gun violence organization called Rock Safe Streets in Jamaica. My Facebook page is Alfred, and then after Alfred, put the word knowledge, and then put Brodie, Brodie. My Instagram is Neals 95, Neals 95. That's how y'all could get in touch with me and contact me. And I don't know if I could. Could I get my phone number?
Yeah, if you want to, go ahead, brother.
And I'm gonna get my phone number too. My phone
Okay.
number is 347-737-2576. And like I said, my book's gonna be coming out soon. I'm in the working with this guy. He already wrote 7 books. He's a preacher, but he used to be he was in the other stuff, but he changed his life. So he's helping me write my book. Like I said, I'm not good with all this editing and everything, but I got the story. And ain't nothing I gotta research. It's already in my head. It's stuff that I live, you know. And I want to say one more thing.
Oh,
I know
sure thing.
um, since I came home, when I first saw my first parole officer after doing 30, she said, "Damn, you did 32 years?" She was like amazed. She said, "Damn, you still look all right." She said, "What you want to do?" I said, "Miss," I said, "I don't know what I want to do. In prison, I was acting up. I ain't really take no programs until the end." She said, "All right. I see you had involvement with drugs. You want to be?" I said, "No, I don't want to go back to school." Then she said something about CDL. I said, "What's CDL?" And I did that. I got my CDL license. I've been driving buses for disabled kids for the last 13 years. You know what I'm saying? I'm thank God that I went and got a gainful employment and a skill. It took me a while. When I first did the CDL, I failed the first time, but I ain't give up. And I passed the second time. You know what I'm saying? I've been doing that, and my family is glad that I came, because a lot of dudes come home, they go back into the street life. I thank God. Imagine if I was been in the street life, and now, right now, I'm 67 years old. I'll be 68 in May the 16th. Imagine if I would have came home and playing around, I'd be like, damn, I don't even got no skills, but I got my CDL, and I could get a job anywhere with that CDL, anywhere. Everybody know that. So I thank God that my parole officer directed me towards that path to getting the CDL, because there's not too much way where I got to lift stuff. It's just driving, sitting back driving, opening up the door. You know what I'm
Right,
saying?
right.
So I thank God for that, you know. But like I said, I gave my phone number. Anybody want me to talk to kids or whatever, I'm that person. Just contact me and we'll set something up. Like I said, I want to give back, you know, because we out here killing each other. And a lot of these young dudes think that prison is for suckers. I'm gonna tell you right now, I lived it and I saw a lot of stuff. And I know in this interview I couldn't say everything, but in my book, they're gonna find out more about me and what I'm doing today. And thank you for having me on today, my brother.
Oh, it was my pleasure. I appreciate you taking
Yeah,
time, you know, out your day where you got a lot of stuff going on. I appreciate you coming on my platform. I
yeah.
just want you to just do me one thing when the book drop. I love to have you back on
Come
to
back.
promote it.
That's right. I'm definitely gonna come back to you. You got that, bro. I'm a loyal to. I'm definitely gonna come back to you, man.
All right. So there you have it, YouTube. You got the brother, you know, you got his social medias. Reach out to this brother. He's doing a lot of good things. You know, look for speaking engagement. You know, he definitely got a story to tell the youth about why you should stay out these streets, stay out of prison. So thank you again for coming. I hope you all enjoyed this another edition of the Concrete and Steel Chronicles. Until next time, take care, YouTube.